Put a 100 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 100 in the chat if you can hear me. Shalom, shalom, Mishpachah. Shalom, shalom. What is going on? Put a 100 in the chat if you can hear me. Put a 100 in the chat if you can hear me just fine. Also, make sure I have my glasses with me. I do. Got to be able to see. Right? The 100 in the chat if you can hear me. 100 in the chat. Quite there. With my phone. Okay. Oh, okay. Good, good, good. Got it. Okay, okay, cool, cool. Shalom, shalom. Jay Ontario, hadn't seen you in a little while. Shalom, shalom. Enlightened One, shalom, shalom, Mishpachah. Evan Davis, good to have you back, brother. Good to have you back. Lacey, how is it going? All right, cool. You guys can't hear me. All right. So on this particular video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you guys my thoughts on some of my observations and some of the things that I've read and the Bible, right? I'm not going to pull out a whole lot of scripture, but understand I may do some references or paraphrase and things like that. So this family, and I got myself something to drink because every time I talk to you guys, I got some tea here. Every time I talk to you guys have me coughing in I cannot talk to you guys for 3-4 days, not a single cough or anything, and all of a sudden I talk to you guys and I break out in cough. I don't know. But I will say this. At any rate, wake up, Jacob, and you guys know what it is. So please like, share, subscribe. Let people know that you are on the yeah, it's that pollen. Let people know that you're on the chat. We're going to talk about stuff that's going on, right? This is not a, let me just say up front, this is not a gloom and doom type thing. I'm not talking about that, right? I just want to know what things, I just hear my thoughts on how life will be, after this whole lockdown is over. That's really what I'm going to share. Just, just this is my opinion, right? This is just my opinion. So you take from it what you will. And I jot down some notes. Look like I write prescriptions for a living, because really my penmanship is pretty bad. But anyway, I do have some notes that I'm going to go over right here, and so I'll be flip flopping back and forth. I want to keep it, I want to keep my thoughts as organized as possible, right? I'll jump around a little bit, but I can tell you this: a couple of things that you're going to expect is you could expect some economic upheaval, a crash, and if not a full-blown crash, it's going to be pretty bad, right? You could expect a recession in a short time, And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, we're already in recession. We've been in a recession and all that." Okay, I want to, just basically, cover what a recession actually is. Let me make a simplified definition, right? Real simplified, because if you look it up, it's gonna be pretty technical. But let's just simplify it. It's basically 2 quarters of negative growth, negative gains, right? That's really of losses. Okay, it's 2 quarters of losses, right? So we're going into our second quarter, it being April now, right? So we're going into our second quarter, and we already know that school's pretty much done for the rest of the year. Then you get into what, April, May, June. Past June, okay, that's your whole second quarter. So if for the next few months, 2 months and a couple of weeks, the economy still have losses, that's a recession. If you go or the rest of the year, if we go the rest of the year, the rest of 2020 with economic losses, then we enter into a depression, because the depression is basically 4 quarters of losses, of negative gains, right? Of losses. That's really what it is. Recession is at least 2 quarters, up to about 4. But if you have 4, once you get 4 quarters, you got a full-blown depression. So that gives you an idea of what could happen. So, do I think that's coming? Yeah, I think the recession is definitely the official recession, right? Nobody wants to say, some of the media, they don't want to say exactly what it is. Don't want to panic people, right? And I understand that. But there's going to be a full-blown recession, and I think the depression is right behind it. I think the depression is going to come after it. You can expect military, and I'll talk about a little bit of all these things that I'm just, the bullet points. I just want to give you the bullet points first, and then we'll just kind of go through each one a little bit, at least a little bit more in depth, and just kind of give you my thoughts. But I think you're going to see more military presence. I know people, you're going to say, "Oh yeah, I see military trucks driving down the street and all that." I know, but you're going to see them standing on the corner enforcing rules. If they're not followed in the first place. You're only going to see that and increased military presence if we don't follow the rules now. The social distancing, staying outside. What do you think's going to happen if looting and rioting and stuff like that happens? You're going to have to see military presence, right? We know they already deployed a National Guard over here and over there, and there's a military presence over here and over there, but dude, it's going to be full blown, right? And again, I'm not saying anything to scare anyone. I'm trying to prepare anyone. I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want any one of you guys to be scared. Nobody listening to my voice, do I want you to be scared? I don't want you to be scared. I want you to be prepared. I want you to be informed, right? You're going to see a move from our current fiat system, okay? You're going to see a move from that. You're going to see, right now, we already have virtual doctors, right? Virtual doctors visits and stuff, because the systems are overwhelmed and stuff, and they're going to have to FaceTime their doctor. I know somebody who already FaceTime her, doctors and counselors and stuff like that. I see, I've watched a show, and we can talk about many shows that it's binge watching now, right? But anyway, I saw the show, My 600-Pound Life, or whatever. Don't ask me why I watch, I don't know. But a lot of times, the doctor on there, he just FaceTime visit them. Okay, they just visit them through FaceTime or any type of video conferencing, right? So they do that. You're gonna see us go into like a touchless society. We already have social distancing, right? So this is all a part of the conditioning process, right? We know about people coming in, filing for unemployment and stuff. So you're gonna see a lot of a fair wage, type of government system where everybody's getting a fair wage, but it's going to come at a cost. So we're going to look at that, and then you're going to see a lot of power shifting, right? A lot of countries, like right now, America on top, got the petrodollar and all the other stuff, but you're going to see a lot of power shifting and everything, because people are going to be like, why should America be on top? Why should that be the world reserve currency? We don't like them. And why would that come? Well, that's going to come because when you have all these stimulus packages, right? Now remember, you have another country somewhere, and they're holding their oil in petrodollars, right? They're holding that in American reserve currency. And then you see America print trillions of dollars to give to its public, to give to its citizens. And the other countries are looking back like, wait a minute. So now what is the worth of that dollar? Now, I'm not saying, oh, the government's not supposed to help its people and all. I'm not saying that. But the other country's going to be looking at like, okay, we're holding all this money in oil. We're holding the American dollar. And they're printing it into oblivion, okay? I've been on cruises, right? I've been to, the Caribbeans and stuff like that. And like meals cost hundreds of dollars, right? Now it's only a couple of bucks in American money. But see, that tells you the worth of their dollar, right? It's like $600 for, an $8 meal down there, right? An $8 American dollar meal, but it's 600 of their dollars, stuff like that. You guys, if any of you guys been to the Caribbean or been on a cruise or whatever, you understand, right? So you're gonna see that, okay? And what's gonna happen as we move forward, because this is life after lockdown, right? What's gonna happen as we move forward is that we're gonna be trading our liberty, okay, and our privacy for safety and security. That's what's going to end up happening. We're going to be trading our liberty and our privacy for safety and security. So when the government comes to help, it's going to come at a price. It's going to cost you something. Okay? It is going to cost you something. All right? So yeah, Evan Davis just saying these stimulus packages, they are on their way. Absolutely, right? So everybody is paying attention to, obviously, coronavirus and stuff. That's why I haven't been titling any of my videos, coronavirus. I had one titled coronavirus and like nobody could see it, right? It was like 2 views, for a day or two or whatever, and like no one could see it. So I just changed the title, and I'm not gonna be coronavirus, COVID-19, blah blah blah. I'm just not gonna do that. I'm just gonna talk about what's gonna happen after this whole thing, takes place, and just what I think. So everybody is focused on COVID-19, coronavirus, and things like that. They're talking about this plague. That's why I just usually say plague or pandemic. And so they're talking about it, and that's really not the problem. Now, people say, oh, well, you think coronavirus is not a problem. No, I think it's real, and I think it is a problem, but I think we should be focusing on what happens after this. That's why I titled it, Life After the Lockdown. What's going to happen after this? What life could be like, right? So rather than sounding like tinfoil hat, you're gonna hear me say, peppered throughout, my words here, my little monologue. I'm gonna say, what if, what if, what if. So I'm gonna say that. Why? Because when you make declarative statements and it sounds like it's prophetic or something, it's gonna come off as conspiracy and tinfoil hat, right? So all I'm gonna say is, what if, what if, what if, what if. That's all I'm gonna say, right? So I'm gonna pepper everything I say through that. Now, some things I'm gonna say is gonna be straight up fact. You've seen it already, or it's already here. So that's not conspiracy. If it's already here and in front of you, it's not a conspiracy, right? So we're gonna look at it like that. But people are really focusing on coronavirus, but they're not focusing on the things that they should be focusing on, which is the effect. What is going to happen after this? There's everything is cause and effect. So what's going to happen after this? What is life going to be like after the lockdown? Now, one of the things that you guys already noticed is there's massive unemployment. Massive unemployment, okay? And I think that we need to really pay attention to that. And I know some of you guys, somebody, it could be yourself, and somebody who's, they had to go file for unemployment, right? So that's gonna be tough on some people. So the question is how long that's gonna last. I don't know. People are expecting. That's why they're not turning down anybody from unemployment or anything. They're just letting, they're just, giving it to everybody. Okay, so there's already 10 million, right? If you get unemployment of say 25-30% unemployment, it's gonna get bad, right? Now that's, in case you don't know, that's extremely high, right? That is extremely high. If you have 30% of the population not employed, that is really, really high. Now, most people obviously are going to expect the government to come in, step in, and help. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, with the government coming in and stepping in and help. It's just that it comes with a price. That's the problem. The help is not the problem. It's the price of the help that's the problem. Okay, so we have to do that. Now, one of the things, get a drink real quick. Okay, one of the things we have to remember, like right now, you see some of the effects. Like right now, we see a change already. We're looking at a change in like gas prices. We were talking about that in one of my other live streams, right? We're talking about the gas prices. And right now, it's really, really cheap. Why? Because the price of oil is super, 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 super cheap. Okay, there is a high supply of oil right now. High supply. Demand is down. Why? Because less of us are driving. Most people are not going very far. They're going to the store and back. Less and less people are at the pump. I haven't seen anybody have to wait at the pump. Okay, so there's a really, really high supply, low demand equals low prices for gas. High supply of oil, low demand for oil, cheaper prices for gas. That's what's going on there. And you're going to continue to see that for a while. You're going to see that until the economy start to come back. Okay, you're going to see that for a while. But we have definitely been conditioned with all these changes, all the things that's been happening so far. We've been conditioned, right? And I don't want to mess up all my notes there. But what we're going to see, what all this happened is that I had mentioned the economy earlier, and I'm talking about gas prices and stuff like that. But fiat cannot go on forever, right? I was talking about them printing the stimulus and all that. That's the thing. You're gonna print these dollars into oblivion, right? Just stimulus packet 1, stimulus packet 2, stimulus packet 3, 4, so on and so forth, right? Which devalues the American dollar. You're printing so much, it's gonna devalue it, right? And the other countries they're not gonna want to deal with it. So a lot of fiat is gonna have to go, right? So probably gonna have to switch to digital. Now, will it be on a gold standard? I don't know. I don't think so. But remember, we have the technology already. Okay, we have blockchain right now. Okay, this is a way that you can make digital currency. Okay, in fact, if some of you guys look at some of the digital currency and you pay attention to cryptos, they're already on Coinbase. They already have a US dollar coin. Okay, and it's 1 for 1. Okay, it's based off the US dollar coin. So everything has been put in place, right? Everything has been put in place for you to be able to transition to a digital currency. See, here's the thing. We were in the industrial age. Do we agree with that? We were in the industrial age, okay? When you have, cotton gin assembly lines, and stuff like that, you enter into the industrial age when people start coming off the farms, moving into the assembly, getting on the assembly line, working in the city, right? You're in the industrial age. Then, and we start getting into the 90s and the 2000s, we entered into the information age, right? So, hey, we're in the information age. Even the Bible says, and knowledge shall increase. How does knowledge increase like that? Because information is at our fingertips, okay? Anything you need, you can Google it now, okay? So that is at our fingertips. But now we are entering a digital age, okay? Digital money and everything we do virtually, okay? All that, and we've been conditioned to do so. Look, some of you guys who've been old enough, we are on this, let's see, technology flood, right? We're getting a flood of technology into our lives. If some of you guys are old enough, right? Meaning you are, let's say, at least 35 and up. Okay, 30 and up. I'll drop down to 30. You're 30 and up. Okay, I want to go a little higher, but we'll do 30 and up. Then you've seen the explosion of technology, meaning you were here when there was not a such thing as something, and now it's a such thing as something. Okay, meaning the technology or device exists, right? You were around before. When you were around before, you can wire money, Western Union, MoneyGram, stuff like that. You can still do that. However, now you can Cash App, you can Venmo, so on and so forth. There are more platforms where you can do it. You can Cash App, so you can wireless transfer money. How do you think that's how blockchain can also work as well. They already have one with Ripple moving into MoneyGram, Western Union, buying those companies. But anyway, getting into those companies anyway. But that we're being conditioned that way, right? So it's already there. It's going to be the death of fiat, and it's going to be sold to you as a benefit. First, all the world's going to have to agree, right? All the world's going to have to agree that we're going to need a digital currency. Nothing you can do to stop it. Okay, nothing you can do to stop it. If all the world agree, if China agrees, hey, we're going to go digital, and Russia agrees, we're going to go digital, and Europe say we're going to go digital, and South America, we're going to go digital. What are you going to do? So Venezuela and stuff, they're going to say we're digital. What America's going to do? If you want to sit at the table and you want to play ball with us, you got to go digital too. So what are you going to do? Right? So all of that is already in place. You're already used to it. You're already used to it. Okay? You can do Apple Pay. Our cards now have a chip. Pretty soon that'll go away. Okay? It's going to be digital. Same as our medical records and stuff like that. And I'll get into that in a minute. Right? But the reason why they're going to go digital is because you don't want to, for example, what this pandemic does to us, right? How it can be justified. When they do it, they can harken back to this moment during the pandemic. They can harken back to this moment and say, look, we're going to go digital because we don't want people, I don't want to exchange money. Paper money, fiat is going to be dirty money. Fiat is going to be another way you can transfer disease. Giving them $1 here. They're going to be like, no, we're not going to do that. That's not kind of society. We don't do that. It's going to be digital. Okay, you have Apple Pay. You touch your phone, boop, it's paid, right? Digital, right? So right now we got the card. Okay, right now we have the card and the chip and all in our cards. Pretty soon that won't even do it. It'll be something else. It'll be a chip. Okay, and now if I say RFID chip, you can't say, oh, conspiracy, because we know it exists. Now, remember when I say 30 above? There was a time where that did not exist. There was a time where Uber did not exist. You're old enough to where it did not exist. See, the millennials don't know. All of it's been here since they've been born and since they can understand, right? But you were around when technology changed, right? And if you're old enough, technology changed from 8 tracks, cassette tapes, CDs, MP3, and now you just have your streaming music. You change from beta, VHS, Laserdisc, down to DVD and Blu-ray too. And now you switch from that to streaming. That's what we're all doing now, right? Hulu, Netflix, Vudu, watch any movie anywhere, all streaming, right? You were alive before there was a time where there was a such thing. Now you crossed over to the technology flood, and people are asking, you have kids that are asking, what was life like before this? You see what I'm saying? Before there was such thing as a drone. You were alive before there was such thing as a drone. Millennials, drones are here. They're making it. Okay? It's a part of their, you were alive before there was a such thing as video chatting. We're being able to see someone on their phone. You're alive long enough to where there was no YouTube. You were not able to see me the way you're seeing me right now. You crossed over the technology flood. You're on the other side. We are in the digital age. So the money, it's a way, we're moving towards like a digital dollar. That's really what's going on. Paper dollar is going to be considered dirty money. It carries disease and touching. You see? You look at the movies. I saw a movie with Bruce Willis, Surrogate, virtual world, basically. All right? An actual physical android walks around and works and does all this stuff for you while you lay at home on a bed, hooked up to it. Okay? Hooked up to a neural network or something, right? I know that's a movie. I'm just saying that we're getting used to it. You're getting conditioned. Okay? Everything that we're doing now in the 80s was a sci-fi movie. Are you getting it right? Is it starting to make sense? Everything we're doing now in the 80s was a sci-fi movie. Okay, but we're doing it now. Okay, there was a time we were not able to see each other on the phone. It's all being conditioned. I'm just saying. Medical, ultimately what's happening, and I'll get to the medical in a minute, but ultimately, Ready Player One, exactly. It's a lot like that. But ultimately, what's happening is that the middle class is being destroyed. You're going to get to the have and have-nots, and that's it. The middle class is going to be gone, right? And it's going to be time for you to make some serious decisions. You're going to have to get real serious about, how you're going to run your life going forward, right? You're going to have to really think about that. Because it's going to be the have and have-nots. There's not going to be a middle class at all. It's going to be poor and rich. That's it. Now the poor are going to have like a universal basic wage. Your universal basic wage. Now, in order to continue to keep getting that help, it's going to cost you. Let's tie it to the vaccine. Let's tie it to this whole thing. Let's say this thing, the next thing to come out is probably going to be a vaccine, right? Do we all agree that they're cooking up a vaccine right now? Do we all agree with that, right? That a vaccine is probably in the works. I'm not asking if you're going to take it or not like that. I'm not asking that. You guys just tell me, do you believe they're working on some sort of vaccine? That's all I'm saying. Just any one person say, there's not going to, either you believe one's getting cooked up or there's not going to be a vaccine. You tell me, right? Now, while you guys answer that, let me simply say this. The other countries are ran a little bit different than we are. Okay, we're a democratic republic, and for example, China is not they're not run like us. Okay, brother said, oh, absolutely. Okay, great. And they're not run like us, so they were able to do certain things, but they're getting theirs under control. Shops and everything are opening up in Wuhan, and you can go check that out yourself, right? And the way they handle things, they're doing it much faster. Right now, we're getting worse, right? And our infection and the death toll is rising. It's climbing, right? And what's going to happen is that some people are going to be looking at the America, and they're not going to like how America is handling this whole thing. They're not going to like that. They're like, okay, these guys incompetent, acting too slow, stuff like that. The governmental structure. So there's going to be a justification as to why we should change the structure, because we have gone too slow. And I know that most of us consider America world leaders, top of the mountain, but that is slipping, guys. That is slipping. The way we do things, the way we run things. How many people have already been saying when we're in that political climate and voting and all that stuff, and I know that's coming around again, when people just like, well, they might as well just burn the Constitution because they're not even abiding by that. They're not even paying attention to that and stuff. So many people already feel like there's going to be a change anyway. How many people do you look at the Constitution and they say, hey, man, the forefathers of the country would be turning over in their grave if they knew what America was doing right now? How many people feel that way? You raise your hand if you feel that way, right? You've heard that in that whole political climate. All that stuff comes out because things are about to change. Things are simply about to change. You guys know the old saying, never let a good crisis go to waste. Okay? Never let a good crisis go to waste, right? So there's going to be a shift in power, a shift in our model. We're used to a lot of freedom and liberty and stuff, but things are slowly, going to change. And again, I'm not talking about anything spooky, conspiracy theories, or anything like that. This is just observations, right? Things that are just happening right in front of us. I'm not making up anything, okay? So I'm not bashing on the powers that be or anything like that, but I am just saying that we're being conditioned to accept this new order, right? What people say the new world order. Well, it's gonna be a new way of doing things, and the virus is just a gateway to get us there, right? It's just a gateway to get there. We'll get to that vaccine and everything, but we're entering to a new structure, new way of life, new way of doing things. You harken back to, like I said in the other live stream, you harken back to pre 9/11 and how we went through the airport, and look at post 9/11. Now it's not a big deal for some because we're already used to it. We're already used to it, and so that's why, hey, it's no big deal now. It's a new normal. Someone asked me that before, and I said, we're under the new normal, right? But we're being conditioned, and things have already been laid out, and we've already, like right now, we're already practicing social distancing. We're doing it right now. So coming out of the side, people are going to be like, you know what, that's what we should do. Hey, maybe we shouldn't shake hands and stuff. Maybe we should just bow, Maybe we just bow, the head nod, something like that, throw your fist up, anything like greet each other, any type of way that does not require contact. We're getting used to that already, right? So A lot of things we're used to running our lives different. Right now is that test run, right? There's a bunch of streaming services and stuff. Heck, I have a friend, he bought, because we know the theaters are shut down or whatever, but now they're releasing the movies on streaming, on streaming services, on movie platforms, right? You can watch brand new release movies, okay? New release movies, you can pay, $20 for it or whatever and own it for like a day or two, and then there you go. Okay, but new way of living, new way of life. We're used to what? Zoom, FaceTime, Uber, self-driving cars, Apple Pay, okay, virtual reality, the ring, the ring at your front door, the video system, security system at your door. Somebody ring, boom, camera pops up. You don't even have to be home. Okay, virtual. Okay, the little Roomba robotic vacuums and stuff like that. Okay, streaming shows left and right. That's what all you guys are binge watching right now. Streaming shows. We're getting used to all this stuff, right? And remember, this used to be all the stuff that we're talking about right now. Everything I name is reality, right? It used to be in a sci-fi movie. That was a very futuristic type movie. And here we are, 2020. Here we are, 2020. And everything I'm saying right now is a reality. Zoom is a reality. FaceTime's a reality. Look at what we're doing. YouTube, live streaming and stuff is reality. Uber is a reality. Packages being delivered by drones is reality. Self-driving trucks is reality. I have a guy I know very well. He stays up on all the latest technology. He got a new car not too long ago, self-driving. He said, man, I was on the freeway and I was driving and I just took a nap. Car drove me home. Getting used to it already. It's here. Sounds like something out of sci-fi, but it is here. Already part of our society. Let me see. Let's say True Jew. Shabbat Shalom, House of Lee. Said True Jew says the Americans you were thinking of never existed. Wake up Israel, Yahushua. Okay, the America that you were thinking of. Okay. Evan Davis. They're afraid to go to digital because the cybersecurity is subpar. No investment in cybersecurity is because the played out saying not broke, don't fix, or whatever. Yeah, I believe it's going digital. We're already heading that way. And that's my misunderstanding what you're saying right there, brother Davis. But I think it's going digital there. All the technology is here. It is going that way. They're gonna sell us on the whole idea, right? It's a supreme paradigm shift that our dollar would be devalued to the point to where it's worthless because we haven't lived in that for so long, but ever since Nixon in 72 took it off the gold standard, it was heading for this anyway. Okay, it was heading for zeroville anyway. Look, all fiat currencies go to zero. Then what are you gonna do? What's next? If the dollar collapses, what's next? They're not gonna just leave it that way and just print a different dollar. Paper is paper, right? So what's next? They have to do something, okay? They have to do something, and digital might be the way to go. I think it's heading that way. And again, it's just my opinion. I think it's heading that way. We're no longer in an information age. We are in a digital age, and that is what's coming. So let me hear you guys' thoughts. But that's on the medical side. I did want to touch on, vaccines. I did want to touch on that a little bit more. If the vaccine should come, right? If the vaccine comes, and I said all these things, all the help, all the quote unquote help is all going to come at a price, right? It may cost you some privacy, it may cost you some security and things like that, right? It's going to cost you some liberty of some sort, not for free. We all can agree that our government is not some benevolent entity, right? It's always something else. And let's just say you have the vaccine. Let's just say the vaccine comes around, and let's say it is mandatory that you take the vaccine. But then, somehow, some way, you have to prove that you took the vaccine. In some way, somehow, people have to be able to tell if you took the vaccine versus them taking the vaccine, right? Somehow, some way. So, enter now what? You have, some people say, well, they could put it in, what if they put it in an RFID chip? ID chip. What if they do an RFID chip? What if? What if they put it in there? What if your medical records are placed in an RFID chip? What if? What if this chip, since it's implanted in you, can give a doctor your medical information? Okay. What if he can tell, for example, if you had a fever? Okay, from the chip, it's already in your body. Okay. What if he can tell there's some sort of illness in your body? What if your medical, like I said, your medical records are stored in there? What if it can tell whether or not you had the virus? Now, many people are gonna say, "Hey, I'm not taking it. I'm not doing it." Okay, understood. That's your prerogative. I understand that. But some people are going to think that you are a threat to them if you don't take it and you don't provide proof that you've taken it. And don't you think that the vaccinated, if they fear and angry at the unvaccinated, they will say something. They will report you. Also, if you have to take the vaccination and it's tied to a chip or tied to something where they can track to make sure that you've taken it and stuff like that, and you want to keep receiving this help, this stimulus, okay, if you refuse, what if they say you cannot continue to get the stimulus? What if they say you cannot continue to get the paycheck, that check that they're giving you? And we go into you can't buy or sell. So if you want to be part of the system, you have to play ball. You have to be one of us, so to speak, right? Consider that. Think about that. Everything is in place for it. I know just a few short years ago, somebody say something like what I just said. Sounds like conspiracy. Sound like you're crazy. And yet all the technology is right in front of us. Everything is right in place. And I'm not going to get all into 5G or anything like that. That'll be a completely different matter, completely different live stream if I do one on that. I'm just saying. Think about that. See what you guys are saying. Okay. Those future movies don't generally contain black people, so how much longer? I got you. Like my job, all software is web based, but so working remotely is logical. However, the old school don't like working remotely, so they're against it. Yeah, that's true. That's old school, you know. Gentile, Demolition Man, check out that movie. It's very eerie, close to now. Yep, I understand. Something like that could happen too. Now, because of this pandemic, we all are working remotely, and old school are now, hey, this ain't so bad. I get my work done at home. Yeah, 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 it's coming. Okay, yeah, yeah. And I saw Demolition Man. I think I gotta rewatch it again. Uh, Shalom, Shalom, GSX. This is going to cause a civil war, revolution, race war. It isn't going to be able to make it that far. Yeah, it ain't gonna be able to make it that far. Okay. And yeah, as long as Taco Bell. Yeah, I remember that Taco Bell was the only restaurant left over there. So guys, those are some of my thoughts I wanted to share with you guys. I think I got everything here. The medical, you guys are used to, digital and virtual visits and stuff like that. You're gonna see telemedicine, along with those. Home test kits. You're gonna see that. That's gonna take place. You know, um, obviously that's going to be the benefit of having a chip. That's what they're going to tell you. Okay, to keep your info and detect, and it can detect illnesses like a fever and stuff like that. Okay, it could, like I said, the vaccine could be forced on the public. You never know. It could be. We'll see. We'll see. And because it's going to be justified, safety from further spread. Same thing with getting away with a physical, tangible dollar, a physical, tangible fiat. That's why they'd be like, nah, we're going to go somewhere else. And like I said, how others going to know whether or not you've taken it? Okay, it's going to be the vaccinated, the unvaccinated, the rich, the poor, the have-nots. So fear is going to be the driving force, right? Because they're going to be able to say, hey, I lived through a pandemic. I know what that's like. So yeah, we need to do this, we need to do that. If they say you take this vaccine, you get your money. They tie that together. Something, hey, something to think about. When they do it, you can expect to see a lot of influencers, okay, or celebrities, or important, very famous people who can be like, yeah, we should do that. I got mine, you got yours, stuff like that. You're gonna see stuff like that. You should expect to see stuff like that. If you have the vaccine, are you gonna be able to travel freely? Planes, trains, boats, things like that. Gotta have your vaccine. Let me see if you got your vaccine. You're gonna continue to send those funds. I mean, receive those funds. Then what? Okay. They're gonna need a way to verify that you got it. They're gonna need a way to verify that you received the vaccine. They're gonna need that. Okay. So, like I said, the vaccinated may turn on the unvaccinated or whatever. So, I'm just saying what life could look like after this lockdown. Those are my thoughts. I wanted to see what you guys were thinking about that, right? Life after lockdown. What is it going to be like? The things you want to look at. Look at the economy. I think it's heading. Obviously, it's heading down, 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 down. It's going to hit a rock bottom, but things are going to have to. They're going to have to make some. I mean, obviously, they're going to try to prop it up, stimulus, and all that other stuff, but there's going to have to be some systemic changes, right, for it to have a turnaround. You might see some military presence or whatever. Blockchain technology is already here to help usher in digital currency. It's already here, okay? It's already here. Virtual doctor's visits. We're going to be in a touchless society. You already got, we're going to be doing all these handshaking. You already got, driverless cars. You already got, Uber Eats, and you already got drone deliveries and stuff like that. I know Uber Eats people bring it or whatever, but I'm just saying it's going to be just a car with no person in there bringing you your food. So that, that's what I mean. Eventually, the vaccine is coming. Okay, some sort of fair wage, for everybody, working wage kind of thing. That's coming. Okay, which is gonna trigger a dollar dump. Okay, people are gonna get out of. It's gonna be a new economy. There's going to be a brand new economy. Okay, so they're gonna be dumping the dollars left and right. It's gonna be worth nothing. Okay, so a lot of people are gonna be cash rich. Okay, but actually poor. The ones who don't prepare, the ones who do not see the writing on the wall and make no adjustments to it. Now, I compare that or juxtapose that to the old ways where a man's wealth was measured in his land, his livestock and cattle, his materials, his household with children, and those who are also in the household. And that's how his wealth was measured. Now, if you position yourself in such a way that you don't need as much cash, but you have your own food, you have your own water, have your own power, have your own land, and you need very little from the system, and the things you don't have you can barter with your brethren, that's probably the best chance you and I have. The choice is yours. It's up to you. Please pass the video along. Put a thumbs up on it. Help out with the algorithm. If you think some people who may have thought you were crazy and said, "Man, I've been," if I said anything that resonates with you, and people thought you were crazy, please just share the video and then let them think that I'm crazy. Okay, let them think that I'm crazy, and that's fine. That way you won't be alone. Just say, hey, look, this brother was talking about what I was talking about. But that's what I think life is going to be like after the lockdown. Let's see what else you guys have. Do people still use personal checks? That's a good one. The digital currency can get computer viruses, yeah, but they're working on that too. Jay Ontario, they're working on that too. All right. The man was against it because they couldn't get the data to solicit you for advertisements. Okay. Con, light one. Now data is now being protected extremely now. Yeah, yeah, data definitely, definitely. They make a very concerted effort to. Cybersecurity is huge, and that right there, that industry right there, in coding, that industry right there is exploding. If you want a good job in the new economy and the new system and the new culture and stuff like that, you got to get in the tech space. Okay, you got to get in the tech space. Okay, if you want to learn uh, various computer sciences, data, coding, things like that, cybersecurity, because that's what it's going to be all about. Look at all. I mean, that's what it's going to be all about. Okay, that's what it's going to be. Those who understand that new language, the digital language, binary. When you understand that intimately, you're going to have a spot in the new economy. Okay. Now, obviously, the Bible tells us to seek out the old paths, but I'm just saying those who are going to be pretty important in the new economy on the other side of this lockdown, that tech space is going to be an area that really explodes. So, again, those are just my thoughts. I don't want to keep you guys long. You guys go enjoy time with your family. I appreciate every one of you for joining me on this live stream. I'm very, very humbled by that. I know the numbers are small, but with your help, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that growing and get that going. So, guys, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. Shalom, mishpachah.